Alrighty, so Global's been out for just 2 weeks. That feels so weird to say. Global's been out. Why does it feel like Global's been out for longer than that? Am I the only one who feels like that? Global has been out for 2 weeks, and obviously I've spoken about it in multiple different other videos, but I kind of wanted to make its own video so we can all have a video to kind of home into, to kind of give our voice and give our opinions. And I know probably some Garena employees or somebody I know might be watching this video just to get a brief idea on how you guys are feeling. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because I want to get your guys' thoughts, your guys' understanding. How do you feel about the speed of Global right now? With all that's happening, with the banners that are releasing, like, even, look, here's the thing, with me playing Global, I'm free to play, right? That's kind of how I'm going about playing Global. JP, I'm pay to win, not gonna deny that, but as someone who's free to play, I'm looking at Global and I'm really having to think about on scheduling out what banners to summon on, because if it wasn't for the leaks, like, I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't think I would be enjoying Black Clover as much as, well, I am now, I would say. But yeah, if I didn't know on what was coming up to when Season 2 was happening, to when Julius was then happening, of course, things wouldn't have been too great on my end trying to be free to play and playing this game, right? As of right now, of course, I mean, the structure of how things are, skip either Midnight Suns, skip Season 2, you get Noel for free, and then go ham on Julius. That's basically the premise if you are going to be free to play, on how you should go about spending your summons. Because, I mean, look, even with the nerf, you've got to take that into consideration with Global, because, of course, daily it's not as consecutive to how it is before with Asia. I'm not going to compare the two, but I'm just saying, obviously you can't grind as much when it comes to currency wise, so that way you're not exactly openly freely to summon on whoever, right? You've got to be very cautious on who you summon and if you're able to obtain them. And so taking all of that into consideration, and with how quick things are being done, I do feel like it is going a little bit quick, but at the same time I understand, because it's like they need to make money. But at the same time, it's like, hold on a minute, if you kind of even it out and kind of give us a little bit of breaks, wouldn't that make you more money? Because right now, Global is dropping counter after counter after, because it's like, the Midnight Suns are here, whoa, the green meta characters are here, nice, what's that, Noel drops in 7 days, I'll skip him. Alright, it's Noel time. What's that, Julius, who completely butchers her, comes out in 6 days from when the banner drops for Season 2. Okay, well, I'll skip her then. And then Julius comes along, and then God knows what's happening after Julius. And it's very weird because, of course, with Global, they are skipping out a tremendous amount of characters to just get straight into the broken ones. So it's very odd, very weird, and very fast-paced to how Global is actually doing things. And so taking all of that, how are you guys feeling with it? Are you managing? Are you guys drowning? Because here's the thing. With the Midnight Suns, again, I've seen comments, I've seen people just being absolutely annoyed. It's like, really, I got shafted and you're telling me Noel's coming out and then Julius is coming out on Christmas Day. Yeah, it's put some people in very bad positions. If anything, you might want to reroll, if I'm being completely honest. Like, if you got shafted on the Midnight Suns and you're free to play, I would take reroll. I'm just saying. Anywho, so yeah, there's a lot to factor in, but more importantly, I just want you guys to voice your opinions. How are you guys feeling about the pace of Global? With me, like I said, I'm free to play. I do think that the pacing is a little bit too quick. I would like some breakage. So what I've done actually is I've brought up JP just to give you guys an idea on how things are being done and kind of giving you breathing room. So one thing we need to take note of is that when JP first started off, obviously it's the same as Global, except Global didn't have the Fulgolian pickup banner, which doesn't really matter, to be honest, because no one would have summoned on that banner. But we had like a month of Season 1 and Yami and Fulgolian, right? A whole month, whereas Global, I think it was like less than 20 days. So at that very moment, we knew, oh, Global from that point on is going to be very quick pace. Now, obviously, we don't know if they're going to slow down once they catch up to JP and KR, because I do believe Global will catch up. So after that, we don't know if it's going to be a month apart, because right now in JP and KR, every time a season drops, it's basically a month apart. Whereas on Global, from the looks of it, it might be like less than 20 days apart with new seasons. So we're not too sure what's going on. We don't know if the quickness is because they want to catch up to when they do catch up, things will then slow down. But I think they could quite easily kind of slow down a tad bit. They don't have to go too crazy. If they want to mix and match and drop characters early on and later on, they're more than welcome to do that. But banners after banners after banners with how quick they're dropping to like close together and it being kind of counter characters, I don't know. So Obviously in June, so the next month after the Eye of the Midnight Suns, as you guys can see, they were spread apart. We even had a break in between the two drops, being Lich and Fauna. Then we had a break, and then we had Riot and Veto. Whereas on Global, clearly, as you guys can see, yeah, they just kind of threw it all in one. How do people feel about that? Would you have preferred for Fauna and Veto to come out first, and then later the green meta? Like, them kind of spacing it out? And even the step-up banner. That was interesting. I genuinely thought they were going to break that apart. I spread it out a little bit, but they just kind of threw it all in once. So that was pretty unusual to see. And then coming back, obviously the season 1 ended. We had a whole month of season 1. Season 2 came in. You guys know the drill for season 2. No else can be broken. Now this is what I mean about Global doing things differently. Came about on the JP and KR side of things, whereas on Global it's going to be Charmy. Now, I'll admit, the Global Season 2 banner looks a little bit more enticing because of them adding Charmy, right? So this is what I mean about how Global can just kind of flip things and do things differently in the case of adding in characters a bit sooner rather than later, right? They're more than welcome to do that. But we had a whole month of that. We even had, again, more breathing room with a William pickup. Or I can't remember if it was a pickup or a step up, but either way, we had a breathing room, and then the next pickup came along was Kyoto and Kahona, which were separate banners. So obviously the way it's kind of being structured is with a new season beginning, there's always going to be a pickup alongside them, and that's kind of like the whole package. So season 2 was Noel, Gorsh, along with Kyoto and Kahona as pickup banners or characters, right? So once they were done in the way, again, we had more of a breathing room, and that then came in with Season 3. Now, of course, with Season 3, well, with the data, as you guys can see, what happened at that point, if I can remember correctly, if I go over here, actually, because now we have to look into characters because the timeline has ended, Julius came out in the middle of August. Where is he? I've lost him. Julius? There he is. So, in the middle of August, so 15 days in from Season 3, Julius came about, of course, leading up to his hype and excitement. We knew this was going to be the case from the story or the chapter that we were at, as well as developers kind of hyping it up and giving us word a little bit early on. Although we kind of already knew, as well as leaks. How can I forget? Leak coming in clutch. So that was kind of like how that came about. And then from Julius, pretty much at the beginning of September, then came about Season 4. So of course with Season 4, it was Charlotte, Fugolion, there he is, and then was Jack green? Oh, he was. Now, in all honesty, yeah, this is the only character you really need to consider yourself with Season 4. But that was pretty much at the beginning of September, so Season 3, start of August, right, we'll just say that, kind of make it easier. So pretty much, again, a whole month in, and then Season 4 came about. Now, with the release of Season 4, if I can remember correctly, we then had Poizot and Veto, the third Eye Awakening Veto, who is not a red unit. Where is he? Is he a green unit? Yes, he is a green unit. There we go. Then we had these boys. Now, these boys came out on the 13th of September. So, 13 days in from when Season 4 came about. And then when it comes to Season 5, it came out on the 25th. So, this is when the season actually got a little bit cut short, I'm pretty sure. So of course this is kind of like the October characters that came about. I can't remember what Charmy, Charmy was, yeah, Charmy. Whew, this Charmy's damn good. So of course Season 5 came out, and obviously these girls came out on the 25th of September, so leading into October, which is pretty weird because they're Halloween characters. So there's that. Oh, I forgot this date right here. Oh, that kind of helped me out. 26, there you go. And then, of course, with that, we then had Yuno and Langris come about. And I believe, if I can remember correctly off the top of my head, I think on the 11th or on the 10th, these boys were available. So, again, a good, decent, kind of spread between the seasonals as well as the characters themselves. Oh, on the 12th. Okay, so I'm like a day late. So there we go, on the 12th. So you guys can see it is kind of spread apart nicely from the seasonals to the pickups, of course. That's kind of like the whole tradition of how things are going. And then eventually we got into the current season, being Season 6. Well, we're on Season 7, but Season 7 are rerun, so Season 7 doesn't technically exist. And then, of course, yeah, these guys came about basically at the end of October. So again, from Langris and Yuno, again, there's a bit of a break in between the weeks, of course. And then, obviously, currently, right now, to where we're at with the latest characters, which was the Witch Queen and Third Eye Awakening Fauna. And again, these characters came out a while ago. being on the November 16th, and a whole month later, here we are about to celebrate Black Asta, because of course in between these two characters we had a lot of reruns going on. So things were still going content-wise, but nothing new character-wise came out, because of course we're leading into Black Asta. But a lot of reruns and being able to obtain previous seasons and whatnot, that's kind of what filled in the gap. So looking at the character release, the breaks that we had in between, it's done in a nice consistent manner, and obviously it's not like crazy where it's like counter after counter after counter, right? So you're kind of putting obviously when Noel first dropped, if they did kind of wait a bit for then Julius to come out, I think that would do well for the game itself, because that way people can summon and invest and put more towards Noel. Because as of right now, with how things are looking, people are probably just probably going to go for the initial copy, and then maybe if they want to go for dupes, that's also an option. But I do genuinely feel like if they didn't release Julius on the 25th and actually gave Season 2 to kind of, how should I say, simmer, kind of boil a bit. Now I'm using cooking goddamn reference, but you guys get the idea, right? If we let Season 2 just kind of sit there and marinate, I think that would have been a lot more beneficial for the game itself, not just for the player perspective of it, because of course we'll be having a fun time and whatnot, but I think from the game's also perspective of it, when it comes to generating income and for the game to do actually well, and giving the player base that breathing room. Now, I wanted to bring this up just to give Garena, you know, like a fair play, to be like even though I'm saying that maybe they should give us a little bit of a breathing room, I mean, the game has so far generated 5 mil and it's 2 weeks in. Like, I can't sit here and bash the game and etc. and tell them how to do things. I can only voice my opinion, as well as obviously you guys yourself, but like, to make that amount, like, fair play. Whatever they're doing, with how fast paced it's going, it's working. It's working. Obviously going forward, we'll see how people genuinely feel when everything kind of settles in, etc. of course. But I do genuinely believe, number-wise, they could probably do, I don't know, I do think they could do better, because I feel like for the first month of Black Clover, of course everyone's going to go crazy for it. Even if you dropping Season 2, if you gave us that break, that break between Season 2 and Julius, I do think that more money could have been generated from Season 2 alone. And it's also very unusual, because, I mean, if we really think about it, Charmy was Season 3, right? So she's getting pushed to Season 2. Julius was all the way in Season 3, so we're skipping out on the Asta, we're skipping on the Vanessa, Keato and Kohonov. Bro, that's going to butcher him, because he's a crazy nuker, I'm not going to lie, I do love him. I know some people don't give him the respect that he deserves, but I love Keato as a nuker. But like, having Julius come along, it literally just makes it so that what's the point summoning on any of these characters to come? Literally no reason to. Absolutely no reason to. So it makes it kind of weird on what they're trying to do. Look, all I'm going to say is I hope it works. I'm sure it's going to work. You know, when it comes to Black Clover Mobile, I'm sure people are still going to go out their way and go ham for the game, which is completely fine. But I feel like overall for the game itself, maybe they could have just kind of thought about it a little bit. Yeah, because throwing your best characters early on, I don't know how I feel about that, because then you release these other characters that you're hoping to make something out of. They ain't gonna make anything, because it's like, what's the point since we've got the broken characters? That's just my take on it, man. That's kind of how I feel about it. But I do believe that Global will still do absolutely fine. I'm just saying, maybe they could have done things where the game is actually a little bit more better. Yeah, that's it. I think that's kind of like my overall look on how quickness the Global is. But I think my overall stance is I do wish Global would just slow down just a tad bit. The fact that Season 2 and Julius are like 6 days apart, bruh, I'm not for it, but I'm prepared. We'll just say that. I'm not for it, but thank God I'm prepared. Yeah, that's my take. Let me know your genuine, honest opinion down below. Do you think Global's going too quick? And if you want it to slow down, how are you wanting it to slow down? Are you got like, how often do you want breaks and whatnot? Yeah, I'm sure a certain someone or someone from the Garena team will read what you guys are saying and giving your feedback. So let's hear you guys out. Let's see what everyone is saying.